Are you missing the seriousness of the subject that this woman the survivor is talking about? She's just told you she has been trafficked, and while you don't have to show any empathy or even give any empathy, you can still just be polite and respectful and get her off the line. But no, you're not. You are continuing to fuel her feeling triggered, right? And it's a horrible space to be in your mind when you feel completely invalidated about the terrible experiences you've been through. I can relate to that. I have had my experiences set up by my own birth giver and then denied by my own birth giver, as though I completely imagined it, or I'm making it worse than what it was. Because what it was, in black and white on paper, was heinous. All right? Heinous. No mother, no parent would do to their child what mine did to me. And that was to set me up to be trafficked, okay, to a family friend. Well, not even a family friend. Her friend, all right? One of her friends.
Oh. Okay, is it still you, psycho?
And every time you reference her as crazy or psycho, that is you planting seeds in the minds of those listening that this is just some crazy troll that you're having to struggle with and won't stop harassing you. That's the picture you're attempting to present to those listening. And I'm sorry to say that a lot of people will believe her account of how this is going down. Even though it's right in front of them, they will believe how she describes it rather than exactly what is happening there in front of them. They will. That's how manipulation goes.
Oh, you ain't giving me shit, bitch. You ain't giving me shit. What you're going to end up getting is my foot in your fucking ass.
And there we are with more abuse, more verbal abuse and aggression.
Don't call me again. Don't call me again, you psycho motherfucker. And tell Tiffany Marie she owes me fucking counseling fees for you. For your dumb fucking ass. Oh my God. Yeah. She wants to call me up and talk about her mommy and daddy issues and about, her human trafficking issues. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. That's what she needs to understand, right?
And that's what majorly a lot of people do need to understand when they hear people saying this. I don't care and I don't give a fuck. All right? And what are you saying that in response to? You're saying that in response to somebody that has just given you an account that they were trafficked, they witnessed their father murder their mother, and they wanted to correct inconsistencies or lies, blatant lies, that you may have been saying prior to this. And instead of being a woman of integrity and letting this person finish her sentence, right, and hearing her out, this is how I know you're deceptive, because of your initial, what would you call it? Your initial attack. You went straight for her throat to present the idea to the listeners that she's some crazy troll or crazy fool or just a crazy mod of Tiffany Marie's. That's what you're trying to have people believe. She was trying to give you a correct account of something you may have misunderstood. And we know that by the words that she said. I want you to stop running your mouth about me. This is what happened to me. She's not telling you because she thinks you care or she thinks you have empathy for her. She's telling you because she wants you to simply understand the truth, right? And this is where a lot of us fall victim to these narcissists, because our want for them to understand us, right? We are prepared to let them abuse us, let them treat us badly, let them do terrible things just because of that want for them to understand us. Instead of understanding, this person is incapable of understanding us. And seeking that kind of validation from somebody like that is only going to result in more emotional pain, because the more they hear you wanting them to understand you, the more they will withhold it, because narcissistic personalities are they're withholders. They're pathological withholders. Whatever it is that the narcissist knows you want, because as well they're expert readers, they've got this innate pathological intuition. They can read people. They can almost mind read people and predict our next actions, words or thoughts. All right, that's how they're so good at this. They're so good at this game, and why we find it difficult trying to manipulate as healthy people, because we haven't got all these other skills and all this other stuff going on in our brain. So she, right now, is invalidating this survivor by withholding what it is that she knows the survivor needs from her, and she just needs her to listen and understand the story correctly. All right. And she's going to refuse to do that because she knows it's going to continue to keep triggering the survivor, and it's going to keep affecting her and bothering her that somebody over there is repeating her story or whatever it was in an incorrect manner, and it is triggering. But I'm not blaming the survivor here. I'm just giving an explanation. In time, and as you go along with your healing, you learn all about these kinds of things, so you stop falling into the traps that you used to fall in. So eventually, with healing and with education, this survivor would never even give a shit what this monster over there is saying about her. All right, because she would be able to, with healing work and things like that, validate herself, and what the other people think is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They've got the freedom to think it. I don't need you to believe me because I know what happened to me, and I stand strong in that alone. All right. But right now, that's what Prayer Garden of America is doing. She's purposely withholding the very thing that she knows this survivor is trying to get from her. This is calculated. All right. All this is going on, and it's going over people's heads because people don't see it. Flies under the radar. This is covert manipulation. She is slightly overt in it, because she's pretty blatant, but the tricks that she's playing, they're covert. They're covert tricks that you wouldn't know to look out for unless you was aware of them in the first place, and that's how we miss them, because we're not taught cunning, we're not taught the levels and depths these people are prepared to reach, the depravity they're prepared to go to. We're not taught about any of that. So then when we start hearing it or seeing it for the first time, we're like mind blown. It's hard to believe. It's easier to believe that this person's really good and they're just having a bad day. It's easier to believe that than the person's entirely not good.